Kent State's homecoming kicks off this week. USG has many events planned for the celebration. More on the festivities coming up.
Haymaker Farmers Market made its way to campus, making fresh produce accessible to students. We have the details.
A would-be presidential assassin granted unconditional release by a federal judge. The details of the sentencing.
And which R&B superstar was found guilty today? We have the answers coming up. This is TV2.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County, and welcome to this Monday edition of TV2 News. I'm Maddy Haberberger.
And I'm Gabby Jonas. Today is the first day of Kent's homecoming, with festivities taking place throughout the week.
That's right, and our Marz Anderson is here now with more on what activities are in store. Hi, Marz.
Thank you, Maddy. Yes, Kent State's homecoming festivities are back in full swing after a full year of virtual events, and I am so excited to share a few of those events right here on TV2. Now, this weekend is filled with events for students and alumni, all culminating in Saturday's homecoming parade and football game, where homecoming royalty will be crowned and the Golden Flashes will take on our rivals, Bowling Green State Falcons. Let's take a look at some of those events leading up to this can't-miss weekend. Today is Memories Monday, where students and alumni are invited to share their favorite homecoming photos on social media with the hashtag KentHC for a chance to win Kent State prizes. And at 7 tonight, join the Flash Activities Board for Flash Bash on Reisman Plaza for food and giveaways. Friday is Blue and Gold Friday. Deck yourself out with Kent State's signature blue and gold and share your photos on social media. An historic commencement ceremony for the class of 2020 will also be held on Friday for graduates who graduated virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And graduates, Kent's student undergraduate government Kent's USG has even more events planned for students, including a virtual commencement with rapper Gunna.
So the first thing we have is our homecoming concert featuring Gunna, and that will be virtual just because of the whole pandemic and the restrictions and things like that, but we still plan to have a great time. And then finally, we'll be ending it with the tailgate at Dick Stadium right before the game. We'll have music, giveaways, cornhole, and it's just going to be such a great time.
Visit kent.edu/homecoming for more information on these events and more, and best of luck to our Golden Flashes. For TV2 News, I'm Marz Anderson.
Thank you, Marz. And even more celebration in Kent. Main Street Kent hosted its annual Oktoberfest celebration this past weekend. The festivities included food, music, and, of course, beer. Main Street Kent partnered with Cleveland-based Platform Brewery to provide the Kent community with drinks and entertainment. This year's festivities span from Franklin Avenue across West Main Street and into the Hometown Bank Plaza. All of the proceeds from Oktoberfest benefit the nonprofit Main Street Kent organization.
Hello, Portage County. I'm weather anchor Alexa Blakely with TV2, here to bring you tonight's weather forecast. Let's get started. So first off, we have today's weather. It's a beautiful sunny day in Kent today. Last week, I thought we were going to start seeing fall weather, but today we've gone all the way up to 81 degrees. We have a dew point of 55, humidity's a little high at 41%, but we have a high visibility of 10 miles. For tonight's hourly forecast, pretty soon at 8 o'clock, we're going to be dropping all the way down to 73 degrees, 70 at 10 o'clock, and 68 at midnight. We're going to be seeing cloudy throughout and a 15% chance of rain. For our temperatures across Ohio, we have about mid-80s throughout. Over here, we're seeing a little bit higher. Zooming in on northeast Ohio, we have pretty similar temperatures across the board, but a little high over here. That's all I have for right now, but stay tuned to see today's radar and this week's 7-day forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Alexa. The DeWeese Health Center will host a weekly flu vaccine clinic every Thursday through the fall semester. The clinic runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the first floor of the health center, and students must schedule an appointment online through the patient portal or by calling the appointment desk. For more information on how you can get your flu shot, visit the link at the bottom of your screen.
COVID-19 burnout and staff shortages are forcing some to reduce their inpatient hospital bed capacity by more than 20%. The Akron-based health system said earlier this morning that they are working vigorously to help the patients in need. They also plan to improve their emergency department flow and are temporarily stopping some elective procedures while they focus on COVID-19 patients and fixing the staffing shortages.
Portage County Relay for Life held a drive-in event over the weekend to honor those who are battling cancer. The organization had to cancel all large-scale events since March 2020, but the drive-in at Community Bible Church in Rootstown allowed attendees to stay in their cars to safely take part in the ceremony. Visitors bought small paper lanterns where they wrote the names of loved ones fighting cancer or those they have lost to the disease. Relay for Life hopes to return to in-person events next year.
A historic Greece revival farmhouse in Ravenna getting an upgrade thanks to a state grant. With the $100,000 grant from the state, the roof, ice, and water ground gutter at Downshart were all replaced, and the house's foundation had some work done as well. The house is preserved by the Portage County Historical Society as a museum. The society hopes to garner more grant money to continue upgrading other historical homes.
A Ravenna business is facing over $1.6 million in fines for 38 health and safety violations that resulted in the death of a worker in March. OSHA claims that the General Aluminum Manufacturing Company neglected to address a malfunction and allowed workers to bypass guarding mechanisms that caused a barrier door to close on a worker's head. The company has a history of violations and non-compliancy with OSHA policies. They have up to 15 days to pay the fines or to request a conference with OSHA. Haymakers Farmers Market is collaborating with Kent State to bring fresh produce to campus. See how that partnership will grow after the break.
Pfizer could have a COVID-19 vaccine for kids 12 and under within days. What the CEO is saying coming up.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Thanks for sticking with us. Now, after many years of bringing locally grown food to the city of Kent, Haymakers Farmers Market brought their vendors to Kent State's campus. Our news director, Chris Abreu, attended the market's first on-campus event last week.
The Haymaker Farmers Market is a staple in Kent for fresh food and products for many. This year, the market made its way to campus.
Haymaker Farmers Market has wanted to better connect with Kent State University for a long time. This is our 30th year coming up, and we're so happy to start a partnership with the Kent State Farmers Market now.
The vendors on the Student Green at Risman Plaza say bringing fresh food to campus is important, since many students do not have easy access.
As we both know, students need a lot of energy. Ours is fresh, safe, and clean. No herbicides, no pesticides. So if you're concerned about certain vitamins, vitamin K and vitamin A, for example, Ours is totally loaded with it.
So the farmers market is a great place to find certain types of foods that you can't normally get in the store.
Students gathered at the tents to shop from 4 to 7 p.m. on September 21st. Many were grateful for a new food option.
You know, kids living on campus who might not have the chance to go and source locally, this brings it to them literally. So I think it's really important. One, the prices are ethically priced, I think, and you know, you can talk to the person that literally says, oh, I just picked this morning.
The partnership is not just bringing the market to campus. Plans are in place for student musicians and vendors.
We look forward to partnering with the university to have educational programs like the chef demos with culinary services, and then involving student groups and student musicians and student vendors as well.
The market is scheduled to come back to campus on October 12th from 4 to 7 p.m., along with more dates for the rest of the academic year. Reporting on Kent State's campus, I'm Chris Abreu, TV2 News.
Welcome back, everyone. I know you've been waiting for the rest of today's weather forecast, so let's get into it. Starting with the forecast for tonight, we're going to be seeing 68 degrees, slight chance of rain, and sunset's going to be happening pretty soon at 7:15 p.m. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, at 6, we're going to be going all the way down to 65 from our 80 today. And it's going to be staying about there throughout the morning, mostly cloudy with a little bit of a chance of rain. Looking at our local radar in Ohio, we don't have much on our radar today, but we do have this area of clouds, and that's going to be going right over our heads in the next couple of hours. And finally, our 7-day forecast for the week. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing a little bit of clouds, but Wednesday is going to be almost a perfect day, sunny, low 70s with no chance of rain. It's going to be cloudy throughout the week and on the weekend until Monday. We're going to be seeing showers throughout the day. That's all I have for today. Be sure to tune in again next Monday. I'm Alexa Blakely with TV2. Back to the desk.
Members of the Kent State branch of the American Association for University Professors overwhelmingly approved a memorandum requiring faculty members to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Nearly 92% of the non-tenure unit and 95% of the tenure unit voted to accept the memorandum. Its passage implements a requirement that all faculty must either receive the COVID-19 vaccine or undergo a routine testing protocol. And just over 2.5 million people have received a COVID-19 booster shot. The latest data from the CDC says that more than 183 million Americans are now fully vaccinated, and 55% of those eligible for the vaccine have had at least one shot so far. There are 70 million eligible Americans who still have yet to roll up their sleeves, which the CDC says poses quite a threat to themselves and to others. The average rate of COVID-19 deaths in the 10 least vaccinated states is more than quadruple that of the 10 most vaccinated states.
I think we are going to submit this data pretty soon. It's a question of days, not weeks. And then it is up to FDA to be able to review the data and come to their conclusion.
Will ask FDA for approval to use its COVID-19 vaccine on children under 12, according to Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla. Currently, the Pfizer vaccine can only be given to children 12 and older. The Pfizer submits its data for approval. It will be reviewed by the FDA and the CDC. Because both agencies are anxiously waiting for the data, it can be reviewed on a matter of weeks, according to the director of U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
The Justice Department has reached a deal to approve the unconditional release of John Hinckley Jr., who shot President Ronald Reagan in 1981. Following the failed assassination attempt, Hinckley was found guilty by reason of insanity and spent nearly 40 years in a mental health facility. He was released under supervision in 2018, but a federal judge granted the 66-year-old unconditional release beginning in June of 2022.
After entering U.S. territory Saturday, a group of 14 Mexican soldiers were temporarily detained by U.S. border authorities. According to CNN, the incident of the men entering the border was confusing after conversing with Border Protection. The international bridge that connects the border with Texas was where the incident occurred. There has been No comment from the Mexican Defense Ministry. A deadly train derailment in Montana that killed 3 people is now helping the community come together and rebuild. Sebastian Robertson reports.
Mangled steel marks where Amtrak's train, the Empire Builder, came to a violent stop.
That means somebody died. That means somebody's family is changed forever.
3 people killed when several cars derailed between Joplin and Chester.
It's a pretty quiet community.
2 rural towns in northern Montana.
Your heart hurts, your stomach hurts, you know what's going on, but at the same time, there are people that need your help.
First responders from across the state answered the distress call Saturday afternoon. The majority volunteer, many driving more than an hour to the scene.
All of these people are volunteers, and most did not sleep at all last night.
Montana's governor announcing Sunday that 5 passengers remain in stable condition and that all of the 100+ passengers are accounted for. Medical choppers and planes ferried the wounded to trauma centers. Strangers took stranded passengers to airports.
They were in a horrific event, and just going in and letting them know that you cared and you were trying the best you could and you would get answers for their questions, but it was going to take some time. They were completely understanding.
More than 24 hours after that deadly crash, and most, if not all, of the passengers have left this small town.
Just thankful for our community and how we operate.
Yes, this is rural Montana, yes.
Leaving behind the locals that may have saved more lives than we'll know.
That's the way this community is. Everybody comes together to help out in time of need.
After nearly a year and a half in the dark, Broadway is back. See who took home statues at the 74th Tony Awards.
The Browns had a great game this past weekend. Stay with us for highlights after the break.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good afternoon, Portage County. I'm Matt Mergen, and we've got a great weekend in sports to recap, so let's get started. Kent State had a tough game this past weekend against Maryland. The Flashes were in this football game, but penalties ultimately had a major impact on the game. Kent State had 2 touchdowns negated in this game, and Maryland capitalized on these opportunities. Talia Tagovailoa had a fantastic game for Maryland, throwing just shy of 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Maryland came to play and won with a final score of 37-16. Here's what Coach Lewis had to say about the upcoming game against Bowling Green.
Good team. Coming in here with confidence. Just went up to Minnesota, got a big win up there. And, shoot, I know they're going to have a chip on their shoulder because of the past few years and the way that the score's played out. So we got to give our best effort because we know they're going to come in here with bad intentions. And obviously the opener of conference play, it's a divisional opponent. Each one of these wins, helps you control your own destiny. So it's a big-time game. Need all our fans there. Need a lot of support this Saturday afternoon at Dixie.
The Cleveland Browns took on the Chicago Bears at home yesterday and looked to pick up a big win to make it 2 in a row for the Brownies. Odell Beckham Jr. returns for the Browns in his first game back since his knee injury in Week 7 of 2020. Now the Browns are tied here at 3 apiece. Baker with a quick strike to the end zone, and that is Hooper with the touchdown grab. Browns take the lead here 10-3. Now let's get to this defense. Pressuring Justin Fields all game, and Myles Garrett tracks him down for the sack. Myles had 4.5 sacks in this game for the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns will take over. Now Baker hands the ball off to Hunt, and you cannot stop this man. Makes the defender look silly and goes all the way for the touchdown, and the Browns fans are absolutely loving it. Browns take a 20-3 lead here. What a game for Hunt. And the Browns defense bringing the heat again. Myles Garrett once again gets to Justin Fields. The Browns defense had 9 sacks and only allowed 47 yards of total offense in this game. Browns win 26-6 and will play the Vikings next Sunday at 1 p.m. That's all I have for sports today. Make sure to tune in to Sports Corner tonight at 8 p.m. Have a great day, Portage County.
Find out which shows took home the most trophies at the 74th Annual Tony Awards when we return.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns, like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to.
What?
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Welcome back. R&B superstar R. Kelly was found guilty today of all charges in a high-profile sex trafficking case. Kelly has been in custody since he was formally charged in 2019 and faced 1 count of racketeering and 8 counts of sex trafficking, including bribery, kidnapping, and sexual exploitation of a child. Kelly faces a possible sentence of 10 years to life in prison and faces a second upcoming trial on charges of child pornography and obstruction of justice in Illinois.
Lions and tigers and witches. Oh my, there's a lot of excitement in southern New England for the second movie of Hocus Pocus starring Betty Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Nijme. The plot is similar to the original spooky classic, including dark comedy and original cast members. Production for the sequel are finding new props in the Bedford Antiques Cove Center. The movie is said to film in Rhode Island at Chase Farm Market, where all just a bunch of Hocus Pocus happens.
The 74th Annual Tony Awards were held last night, honoring the achievements of the 2019-2020 Broadway season and the return of live shows. Tony winners Audra McDonald and Leslie Odom Jr. hosted the show, streaming on Paramount Plus and CBS. It included performances from nominated shows and other Broadway favorites, including the original Broadway cast of Hairspray, Jennifer Holliday, and Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. Moulin Rouge the musical was the big winner of the night, taking home a record 10 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, Best Actor, and Best Direction. Now, many victory speeches called for more inclusivity in theater spaces, with Best Playwright Matthew Lopez citing his victory as the first Latino winner in the category, and phenom Slave Play taking home 0 awards after garnering a record 12 nominations. You can catch many of last night's winners back on Broadway this fall. I feel like you can tell from that read how much I love musical theater.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
I'm really excited. Slave Play just announced that they're coming back with an 8-week exclusive run on Broadway, so I'm trying to get tickets from that. I live in Ohio, but
what other shows have you seen?
I've seen 7 Broadway shows.
Oh my gosh, Maddy.
Mean Girls, Kinky Boots, King Kong the musical, Come From Away,
Dedicated.
Aladdin, School of Rock, and The Prom. And then I've seen countless
you saw the
shows.
Prom.
Yes, I did see the Prom.
That's an
I saw the
oldie.
original Prom, and then the movie came out
Yes.
around Christmas last year. I've seen everything, and I hope to see more. But that wraps up this Monday edition of TV2 News. Thank you so much for joining us.
For up-the-minute news and more of these stories, be sure to follow us on social media at Kent Wired and check out our website at kentwired.com.
And tune back in right here at 8 o'clock for Sports Corner. Have a great night, Portage County, and we'll see you next Monday.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering.
And even with my face covered,
you will see me
as a son,
as a friend to everyone I meet,
as a fighter for change,
as a woman who stands up for what I believe in.
So join me in wearing a face covering
to help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to bring us all together.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your